From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, July 18th. Obviously, a cloudy, somewhat foggy start to your morning. Going to have a few isolated showers left over throughout the day. Then we'll be partly cloudy this afternoon with highs in the mid-80s.
This has shaken us to our core. This isn't something that we have seen here in Greenwood before. It is absolutely horrendous.
We are sickened by yet another type of incident like this in our country, in our city.
Beech Grove is not immune to what's going on. We need parents to step up and grandparents to step up and churches to step up to talk to their young people about how to handle conflict.
Two mass shootings leave 4 people dead and several more wounded across central Indiana. Families in Greenwood and Beech Grove woke up to tragedy this morning. Investigators and police are working to address the many questions left unanswered. So let's start in Greenwood, where police say a man with a rifle opened fire in a mall food court, and a man legally carrying a gun shot and killed that gunman. The Johnson County coroner said overnight that the 2 of the victims killed are male, 1 is female, and that does not include the shooter. Police say the gunman walked into the food court with a rifle and several rounds of ammunition and just started shooting. Police say they got calls for a shooting around 6 last evening and acted quickly. But they're giving praise specifically to who they're calling a good Samaritan, a 22-year-old man who was legally carrying a handgun and shot and killed the shooter. Police then were there into the morning hours, helping victims look for evidence as well. They say they found a backpack in the bathroom. It was clear of any explosives. Police say as eyes turn to the investigation, so does the need to unite as a community.
Our officers responded the way they should have, very quickly, and I'm extremely proud of the law enforcement response, not only from the Greenwood Police Department, but as you can see behind me, the multi-jurisdictional cooperation that we have. It was so fast. Self-reporting from home when they heard about it. IMPD SWAT team members were here just as quick as ours were. It was a very, very fast response. But I'm going to tell you, the real hero of the day is the citizen that was lawfully carrying a firearm in that food court and was able to stop this shooter almost as soon as he began.
Police say a 12-year-old girl is among the 2 people wounded, and they're both stable at last check. The Johnson County coroner says his office is working with the Marion County coroner to identify the victims. He expects to release names by 10 o'clock this morning. Police have not identified the shooter nor his motive. We are expecting to hear more at a press conference this afternoon at 2 o'clock. You can count on Wish TV to be carrying that live. And some of the people who were inside the mall tell News 8 that they were sitting inside the food court when the shooter opened fire. Draven Sanders says he heard dozens of gunshots. Greenwood Police Department indicated that the shooter was carrying a rifle with multiple magazines of ammunition through the food court of the mall before firing up on the mall crowd. ITMate's Richard Essex spoke with a 15-year-old who said he was behind a pillar and that may have saved his life. And also our Adam Pinsker spoke to another person who witnessed the shooting.
We heard 4 gunshots, and I looked up and I thought the carousel that's across from Old Navy was breaking down. And next thing you know, you just hear about 6 more shots and you see everybody running. And a teenager threw his bags up and it got my attention. And I thought, okay, it's an active shooter. So my mom and I got down real fast. The Old Navy workers were amazing. Whoever their bosses are, they deserve a raise because they handled it very well. And it was very scary, very traumatic. Lots of crying, lots of not knowing where the shooter was coming from, because it was so loud. We didn't know if it was in Old Navy. It was like one of those moments where you don't know where it was happening.
Were you scared?
Oh, absolutely. I'm traumatized. I don't think I'll ever come back to a mall setting for a very long time.
Greenwood police have asked witnesses of the shooting to contact their department to help in their investigation by going to the Greenwood Police Training Center or by calling Johnson County Dispatch at 317-364-6336. Greenwood Mayor Mark Myers praised the Good Samaritan. He posted a statement on social media saying, "This person saved lives tonight. On behalf of the city of Greenwood, I am grateful for his quick action and heroism in this situation." Governor Eric Holcomb sent News 8 a statement saying he is monitoring the investigation, saying lives were lost today, and I'm thinking about all the victims of this horrible incident now and in the days and weeks to come. Both Indiana Republican senators responded to the shooting. Senator Todd Young tweeted, "Terrible news tonight in my home county, praying for the victims of a shooting at the Greenwood Park Mall. Thank you to our law enforcement officers who responded." Senator Mike Braun said, "Praying for families of those killed in a senseless act of violence in Greenwood tonight and grateful for the brave armed citizen who took action to stop the perpetrator and prevent further tragic loss of life." Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita called the shooting a senseless and devastating act, writing, "Hoosiers across the state are no doubt upset, but also mobilized in care and prayer for their fellow Hoosiers. The bravery of the armed individual who took action to stop the shooter undoubtedly saved lives, and for that I and many others are grateful." And the shooting comes just a few weeks after Indiana's new permitless carry law took effect. It allows most adults to carry a handgun in public without a permit. Police say the Good Samaritan in Greenwood had a handgun. It's not clear if he had a permit or not, but police say he was legally carrying a gun. The permitless carry law only applies if the person does not have a felony conviction, face a restraining order, or have a dangerous mental illness. State police had opposed the change, saying it removes a quick way to check to see if someone is carrying a gun illegally. Indiana State Representative Mitch Gore voiced frustration on Twitter. He said, "It's too soon to assess what could have been done to prevent this specific incident. But what should be abundantly clear is that as a society and as a government, we are utterly failing at addressing gun violence. Clearly, new approaches are urgently needed." Gore represents Beech Grove, where a separate mass shooting at a park vigil left a person dead and 3 others wounded. The Beech Grove Police Department says it happened around 10 last night at Don Chalice Park. Police haven't released any details about what led up to the shooting, a potential suspect, or the victims, other than to say one person is in critical condition while the other 2 are stable. Beech Grove Mayor Dennis Buckley says the park will be closed today.
We're going to talk to elected officials. It's far past time that they do something to stabilize or eliminate this problem that we have. It played out again twice tonight, once in Greenwood and once here in Beech Grove. And the good people that live in this area should not have to tolerate this. These people were not from here, and I'm not happy about it. And they need to do something sooner than later.
Beech Grove leaders say Mayor Buckley will hold a media briefing on the shooting this morning at 10 o'clock. The shootings mark the 350th and 351st mass shootings in the United States this year. That's according to the Gun Violence Archive. 11 of them were here in Indiana, 6 in the Indianapolis metro area. Police say in April, 1 person died and 5 others were wounded at the Team 1 event center. In May, 5 people were shot at the Colts Canal Playground. In June, 5 people, including the suspect, were shot on Sussex Terrace. Then just last week, IMPD confirmed a 16-year-old died and 3 others were shot at the Woods apartment on Merrick Way. Tune into Wish TV throughout the day. We will have continued coverage of both of the mass shootings. We'll bring you updates and information as we get them on Wish TV. Online, we've put up what we know about the investigation, plus reaction from witnesses, local leaders, state leaders. Again, that's all online right now at wishtv.com.
Today, we stand before a community that's still gripped in grief. With this report, families who are crushed by sorrow and pain will now have desperately needed and deserved answers. But no report can heal the broken hearts.
A new report shows nearly 400 law enforcement officials rushed to the mass shooting at the Uvalde, Texas elementary school. Yet, more than an hour of chaos ensued before the gunman was finally confronted and killed. An investigative committee from the Texas House of Representatives released nearly 80 pages of findings. It blamed local, state, and federal law enforcement officers for inaction, describing it as egregiously poor decision-making. Family members of the 19 children and 2 teachers killed were able to pick up the report yesterday. Hours later, Uvalde officials shared hours of body camera footage from city police officers. There was one video released from a Uvalde police sergeant that started with the chaotic moment when officers arrived at the scene. The video shows officials' urgency fading as the moments tick by. Calls for police accountability have grown in the days since the shooting.
We're not going to get the truth because there is cover-up. Everybody's throwing everybody under the bus. The only ones that ain't under the bus is because they're 6 feet in the ground now, and that's our children and the 2 teachers.
Among the failures listed in the report, no one assumed command. Plus, the commander of a Border Patrol tactical team waited for a bulletproof shield and a working master key for the classroom, which may have not even been needed before entering the classroom. The report claims Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo tried to find a key, but no one even bothered to check if the doors were locked. The report shows that his actions wasted time and delayed officers getting into the classrooms. Today, jurors will hear opening statements in the sentencing trial for Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz. Cruz pleaded guilty in October to killing 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018. It remains the deadliest shooting to reach trial in U.S. history. Jurors will decide if Cruz will receive a life prison sentence or the death penalty. The lead prosecutor will likely highlight Cruz's brutality as he stalked the school and fired his semi-automatic rifle down hallways and into classrooms. Cruz's defense may emphasize that Cruz is a young adult with lifelong emotional and psychological problems who suffered from fetal alcohol syndrome and abuse. The trial is expected to last 4 months. To some business headlines, restaurants and grocery stores said that they're revamping operations in response to crime, with some operators limiting hours, spending more on security, and closing stores entirely. The Wall Street Journal reports 44% of 1,005 adults surveyed earlier this month said they were more fearful to be in public because of bad behavior and rising violence, up from 39% in March. It's according to a national online survey by food service research firm Lisa W. Miller and Associates. Walmart is making it easier for Spanish speakers to shop online. The new technology enables customers to search in Spanish for more than 600,000 of the most commonly ordered items, making shopping experiences faster, easier, and more convenient. For example, a customer can search for leche, Spanish for milk. Walmart plans on more comprehensive Spanish search in the near future. President Joe Biden's broadband billions are finally making their way to rural communities. The combined projects in Kansas, Maine, Maryland, and Minnesota will expand high-speed broadband to cover 83,000 homes and businesses. That's according to the Treasury Department. The 4 states will get internet speeds dramatically faster than what they have currently. Consumer drinking and snacking habits over the pandemic look like they're here to stay. Candy and drink executives say many shifted to new, pricier alcohol brands and bigger bags of candy. Ready-to-drink cocktails have also seen a boom in sales. All right, in other news, the January 6th committee expects to receive and read Secret Service text messages tomorrow from the day before and the day of the U.S. Capitol insurrection. That's according to Democratic California Representative and member of the panel, Zoe Lofgren. The committee subpoenaed the Secret Service last week. Lofgren spoke on ABC's This Week yesterday. She reiterated how surprised she was after learning the Secret Service deleted the messages after investigators requested them.
We did get a briefing from the Inspector General of Homeland Security, and then there was a statement made by the spokesperson for the department saying that it wasn't true, wasn't fair, and that they, in fact, had pertinent texts. So we thought, fine, if you have them, we need them. And we expect to get them by this Tuesday. So we'll see.
Lofgren says the next public hearing on Thursday will include a minute-by-minute account of former President Trump's actions on January 6th. Committee member and leader of Thursday's hearing, Adam Kinzinger, says former President Trump gleefully watched TV as rioters attacked the Capitol. He spoke yesterday on CBS's Face the Nation on what to expect during the primetime hearing.
The reality is, I'll give you this preview, the president didn't do very much, but gleefully watched television during this time frame. We're going to present a lot more than that. But I could only imagine I knew what I felt like as a U.S. congressman. If I was a president sworn to defend the Constitution, that includes the legislative branch, watching this on television, I know I would have been going ballistic to try to save the Capitol. He did quite the opposite.
Kinzinger will also be joined by Representative Elena Luria in leading the hearing. He says the presentation will open people's eyes in a big way. A former Trump advisor's trial begins today. Steve Bannon's lawyer tried to delay the trial moving forward twice last week. Bannon's lawyers argue it will be hard to find a non-biased jury after recent media reports. He faces contempt of Congress charges after months of refusing to testify. Bannon says he didn't have to cooperate because of Trump's executive privilege claims. Bannon was indicted on those charges in November. If convicted, each count could carry a minimum of 30 days in jail. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita calls a Tennessee judge's ruling a victory in the battle against President Biden's, in his words, transgender extremism. On Friday, a judge temporarily blocked the enforcement of extended protections for LGBTQ people in schools and workplaces. That guidance said discrimination based on a student's sexual orientation or gender identity would be treated as a Title IX violation. The ruling sides with 20 state attorneys general, including Rokita, who sued last August. They claim the Biden administration infringed on states' rights to enact its own laws. Rokita writes in a statement, federal agencies don't make laws. That authority belongs to Congress at the federal level and to the state legislatures, such as the Indiana General Assembly. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.